I just need to know. If you have a lot of thought on the hometowns, because to me they were clear.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I have some hot takes.
Oh, I love a hot take.
And I might be over my skis. I don't know. But I have this feeling. I think Pascal is going to break up with Joan. Yeah. Part of it comes from like that thing that they get into, like where, because we don't know what that's about.
No.
But then she also has a line that says, it dawned on me that I may not be able to go home with anyone.
Oh, at the very end when she
says something like that, like along those lines. So I was just like,
I'm thinking I'm not going to leave with anyone.
Something like that. Yeah. And she's clearly like the only person that I think could put her in a position to have a conversation. Like, okay, they're at the salon. That all goes great. They're having a swimming time.
Couldn't have gone better.
Yeah, the family's great. Like, I think that Joan likes Pascal more than she ever thought she would.
Me too.
I think that Pascal reminds Joan very much of her late husband. I think that there's something about him, when you come from nothing and you build up this like kind of like empire, I think Pascal's only buying the best of everything and having the best and doing the best and expecting the best and all the things.
I don't think it's because he needs everyone to recognize him as some flashy guy. Even though I'm sure he enjoys that and his cute little Aston Martin.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely appreciates quality and...
No, totally.
That's why he likes Joanie. I love that he calls her Joanie.
I know.
You say hello to Joanie. Did you meet Joanie?
He just like, what Pascal doesn't have time for? An Amazon return. So he's just going to get the best of everything. And because and he worked for it. And why not? Why wouldn't I have the best? Everyone should. So I think that I'm sure she got a little taste of that. Coming into his work, how you and I always talk about how to be if you're swiping on the apps or if you're going on a blind date, how next to impossible it is to know how someone really is in life. I think that if there was a hidden camera at someone's job and I saw how they interacted with people or what they were responsible for or what people look to him for.
Yeah, because you're a queen of workplace romances. You think that that's the best place to meet someone. I agree with you. You see someone in their 9-to-5 everyday habitat and it tells you so much about that person.
Yeah, exactly. So someone that you might never be interested in necessarily, and I don't mean they're dog shit ugly, but now I like them because people are calling him boss. But I'm just saying someone that I might not be an immediate physical attraction to if you are seeing who they are. I think that for her to see him and they were all waiting in the front,
that was so sweet.
Chest out, our shoulders back,
everyone's in black. Yeah, that's how he runs the shift. All the stylists are in black.
Beautiful,
two floors.
It was bustling. It's huge, and all the things. So I think that she would be really into that. So I think that just Pascal's life probably crept up on her a little bit more than she thought it would. I think every minute she spent with Pascal, things were creeping in on her. I think that two things. He either knew that he's probably not the guy.
Okay.
And Pascal ain't going out like that. Pascal came to play, and if he sees that this field isn't accurate measurements, he's just going to excuse himself. I also think that Pascal has brought up several times that he got his heart majorly broken. Yeah. And I don't know who that woman was. And I love Joan and I love, blah, blah, blah. I could skip all the nice things about Joan, but I imagine Pascal
not Joan, someone
not
maybe
really.
more
maybe I see a brunette. I see chic, just a little bit more
worldly, seeming
Kennedy, Carolyn Kennedy,
Carolyn Bessette Kennedy.
Yeah, and not that I know that Carolyn Bessette was blonde, but I see that vibe, that look, that understated classic.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Joan's a little more Vava Voom, and her hair, big hair, not big hair, but long big platinum hair. And I'm not hating on platinum hair at all. I'm not hating on Joan at all. I'm just, I like to pretend I know what these fucking people do in their day to day, and I just see that's the woman I see him with. I could be totally wrong, but anyhow, so I feel they maybe have a conversation, and he says I think that I think he excuses himself. That's again hot take. I have But we know it's going to be,
Whoa.
we know the two left, or it's going to be Chock and Guy. Chock is clearly going to win.
But she says at the end, wait, we need to go back because we're all over the place. Okay. To me, listen, Guy, I'm happy Guy can open his heart again and all the things. I just don't think Guy is the person for her. And I just think their hometown, it was lovely. She had a great time with his family. I just think it's, take it or leave it. I'm leaving it.
Did you not think they look pretty good together? Like one thing that you said before
on the boat.
Yeah, when I said to you, when I was going off on my I just don't like Chock, or not that I don't like him, but I just thought he's this, that, and the other.
Nerdy, I think.
And your immediate response was, I think that being in this house is really hard, and I'm really interested to see them in their homegrown settings.
And I stand by that.
No, and you were 1,000% right. All of these guys were night and day. Not night and day, but Chock was night and day.
Chock
from the house to home.
Sexy. I saw okay.
But he looked so comfortable in his own skin, whereas in Malibu he's just
nervous,
coming out of his skin, too excited. Like how when I said my idea of him is he's literally humping Joan's leg, he was much more relaxed and surrounded by people. The dad that he was with of the late fiance.
Tom,
you don't hang out with you don't hang out with him still if you're a bad guy.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
And you could tell they really love each other.
Yeah.
And so whatever, just to get it out of the way, Jordan also, sweet guy. I just never saw it with them. And I just hope that this opens up Jordan and Guy's worlds for, dating other women and all the things. And I know that Guy's still in it. I just don't see her with Guy for the long haul. Not that he couldn't take the cake, but I just don't see it lasting after the final rose. So let's just put those two aside. I thought that Pascal, and we kind of talked about it, his hometown was so fabulous because seeing who he was in his work environment and how all of those women, not only do they respect him, because clearly they all have shown up and they look lovely and are dressed the way that, he asked people to show up to work and whatever. And I get that they're on camera, but you can't, I don't think, fake that kind of enthusiasm. They were all so excited to see him. They were all so sweet to Joan when she was sitting there. It's just I don't know. I've watched enough reality TV shows to, I think, be able to deduce this person really hates their boss, but they're just here wanting to look good and get their screen time. She's sitting there. She's got her little smock shit on and is getting her hands massaged. And he's the king, so happy about being the king of this castle.
Yeah.
And you can tell, or at least how about this? I think with Pascal, I don't think he's some Lothario. I think he genuinely loves women.
Yeah.
And really is taken by them. He has respect for them, but also loves them and wants to be with them and whatever. I think you could see all of that from him at his workplace. I loved how his kids loved him. I loved his cute little grandson. I thought all of that was fantastic. And I honestly think that Chock had just as strong of a hometown. I think Pascal was the sleeper hit. Yeah. I think he had a really strong hometown and it could have gone either way. And because he doesn't have the same story as Chock with, where they connect, they were both deeply in love and this person passed away. And I just thought the fact that they invited her in to such an intimate thing.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way. And it so went in his favor because she felt closer to him. They included her in such a lovely way. And even if it doesn't last, I think it was a special thing because the mom did say, I am dying, but go because I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's why those two need to be the final two. And I don't know what fate has in store for our Joanie, but I did get nervous at the end and they could just be trying to throw off the scent when she's maybe Chock is too good to be true. And I'm nervous that I am going to walk out of here alone and all of that kind of stuff. I just feel it's too strong. He has to be nuts. And he's too old to be that nuts, even though we know nuts knows no age range.
Yeah, no, this is all how my conspiracy is all based on how all of these little sound bites could have came about.
Correct.
So that I don't think Chock's going anywhere. I think that Pascal does something that throws her for a loop and makes her question everything because I think that she was seriously considering Pascal for a minute after that date, after that
100%,
hometown
100%.
was like, holy shit, I
had
could
a
have
great
quite
time.
a life here. Yeah.
Yes.
And like, because like any woman, I'm not saying that like they would make their final decision on that, but any woman could be swept off her feet by a situation like this, like
Seeing
for a hot
guy
minute at least.
who has his shit together,
Yeah.
his home is tidy, his kids are great, his grandson's a doll. Who's not falling for that? Who's not thinking that that's a life that I want to be a part
like,
of?
Has a status in this community, you know? We're talking about Pascal, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So I think he throws her for a loop, and that she's like, oh God,
This is lovely.
God. But then when he tells, again, this would have to happen. When I was trying to explain this to Mike, I was like, and just know that this one big thing has to happen that like we have no idea
That's
if it's
the
going to happen.
linchpin in your conspiracy theory.
Exactly. That's the linchpin. If I'm right about that, that's why I think she says, maybe, what do I know? Like, I didn't see that coming. What if Chock is too good to be true?
Okay, let's go with your conspiracy
my
theory
puzzle
real quick.
pieces,
Okay,
that's all.
I'm gonna
Okay.
extend this, and I'm not a tin hatter. Okay, but my girlfriend is. Okay, so let's say, because Pascal is so likable and he's so handsome and he really is hitting on all 6 cylinders, I think, to be the Golden Bachelor. Okay. So let's say Chock is in it to win it from day one. The producers, I'm thinking of this now from like the behind the camera kind of stuff, behind the scenes, if you will. They know Chock's the one, but we've got to create drama and suspense and all of that stuff. And so now all of this is a build up to what we know is going to happen. And Pascal does disappoint us, and we all as a nation have fallen in love with him. And that's why they had to drag out the stuff with Mark, because they really wanted Pascal to be the Golden Bachelor, but because he really effed it up in your conspiracy theory. This is all allegedly.
Shit the
because,
bed.
because he really shit the bed.
Yeah.
Then
He had
who's
one job.
the only other people that could, and again, if we're going with your conspiracy theory.
Yes, I know. Like I said, it's a lot has to happen here for any
this
of
to
this.
be
You could
plausible.
throw away this whole episode if like you guys get to this moment and Pascal's still there.
Right. If then this was all for naught. But then let's just go still with your conspiracy theories. There's something for some reason about Jonathan that we don't know yet, that you don't trust him. You need to get his ex-wife on the phone.
Yeah, I do. I still do.
By the way, I trust
me.
Jonathan. I believe men and women and non-binary people alike. Natalie does not trust this man. So he's out, even though he could have been a great Golden Bachelor. So really,
He's not out. He's just
well,
like,
no, according to you.
He's out. What's it? Pending investigation.
But our Golden Bachelor can't have a pending investigation. So I'm going off of your conspiracy theories that then Jonathan's out because there's a question mark over his cute little head. And the only other person that could be the Golden Bachelor would be Mark, which is why they extended him the way he did.
Yeah.
Bing, bang, boom. Pascal does something shitty. Jonathan has a restraining order we don't know about. Chock's the winner and Mark's our next Golden Bachelor. You heard it here last.
Also, I think that Jordan.
Another conspiracy theory.
I think
These men alone.
I know. I think that Jordan, I'm sure that they tell everybody there, like, do not tell anyone who you're going to pick. Don't say, I'm going to pick you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Joan can be controlled in that way, really.
Joan can't be controlled.
No, I think that Joan is old enough to know, like, no, I'm not in this for clout. I'm in this for the real deal.
Yes,
and
I agree
so,
with that.
like, where other people might be like, no, I want to play by all the rules because, like, I'm trying to get, where I'm trying to get.
Well, also a 25-year-old woman
That's
and
what
a
I mean. Yeah.
62-year-old woman.
Yeah,
are
so
completely
her
different.
priorities are different.
Yeah.
Like, if she just has a better head on her shoulders, that's life.
You've also learned that, like, hey, I played by the rules. I got effed.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if that means telling Jordan, you're not the one, act surprised.
Yeah, you're not the one, act surprised, but I do need a fourth, and we're going to be in Chicago.
No.
Budget cuts.
No. Immediately no.
How?
That's a bridge too far for me. Your conspiracy is not flying here.
Then I'll double down on that. Maybe she didn't tell him, but that's why she needed a fourth. And old people don't like to travel. My mom has got to go see my sister. Who's pregnant in Texas. And my mom is like, still to this day, like drive, fly. I don't know. I haven't flown in 11 years.
But they're traveling differently as the Golden Bachelorette. Like,
I'm not saying that. I'm sure they're in a private jet. I'm
or
saying
first class.
whatever.
You've got
it's not about
handlers.
that. I'm just saying that like, oh, I've got to pack again. I'm gonna go here, whatever. Like, oh, I don't really have a fourth. My pick are these three guys are in my running, because her and Jordan just never had anything. And now hear me out. He from the get is talking to his family like, oh, I'm not proposing in 2 weeks, so loosely. He's not even thinking about it. He says that straight up. You guys know I'm not proposing in 2 weeks, and they're like, yeah, no, we knew that about you, whatever. And then when he gets when his name doesn't get called, he doesn't even like. He's just like, great outfit though, right? Like he couldn't care less. He didn't seem surprised. He was just like easy breezy, beautiful cover Jordan. Like just he's in great shape. He's got like he just doesn't need this. Like
if I may, Natalie.
Okay.
I think she didn't have a strong fourth. I agree with that. Okay. And she does have to pick 4 people. Now, listen, I think Joanie is her own woman, and she could have looked at the producers and said, I'm standing firm on these 3. But they were like, listen, don't you want to give someone else a chance? Because you just don't know. A lot can happen. The wine breathes a little. It tastes totally differently. Pascal, okay. Obviously, she was into him and they had an actual connection. But I think she was open enough to say, okay, great. I will play by the rules and I will pick a 4th person. Do I think she picked the 4th person because he lived in the same town that she was already going to? Absolutely not.
Or maybe they're like, your last 4 are also our 4 contenders for the Golden Bachelor. So it'd be great if we could like they're still trying to find their guy. They're auditioning their guys every day that they go.
You don't think no, because we don't know who's going to be.
And listen, I don't like Jordan. Like there's so many things about Jordan that I'm like, he would actually make a really good Golden Bachelorette. That nose.
I don't remember. But I will say this.
You'll see it now, because after I started thinking and doing my conspiracying.
But it's not like Gary was Brad Pitt.
Who's Gary?
The old Golden Bachelor.
I don't know why. I never got it with that guy. I don't get it.
I think Jordan's cute and it could be fine. I personally
You're going to check out his nose now, though, and you're going to go, if between now and then, you might want to see a doctor.
Well, can I tell you something that we're not going to air?
No?
Okay, great. Then I'm not going to tell you. Then you know what? Then I'm going to keep my P's and Q's to myself and let Natalie get the hate that she's going to get. I'm letting you know that Jordan's nose does not bother me.
You'll look at it again and it will.
No, because everybody knows, Natalie. That's how you know a guy's dong size.
You know I like a strong nose. This one, he needs to see Heather Dubrow's husband. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to look. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say Pascal wins. Okay? Think they're going to make Chock the Golden Bachelor?
Hell no.
Really?
No. No. I think he wins, and I would wager to say that they are not even together anymore. I have always thought this was going to be hard for her. I don't see Joan. I don't see Joan moving from or like traveling to Wichita, traveling to Chicago. A little different in that lifestyle that she was just a part of. That's who you travel for.
But here's the thing, if I may. I think Joanie. That's all I can call her now is Joanie. I think Joanie likes that, like, more, she was saying, oh, we had a beach house and we would play cornhole.
Yeah.
And wherever they were, looked beautiful. So I'm sure there's some lake and they could take a boat out and do like all the home style stuff that she likes. And she's not retired yet, but I would imagine Chock's got some of his financial life together.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if he's got enough of his shit together, she could also retire. And then they could go on these great vacations and do all of that fun stuff and go to these great metropolitan cities around the world and then come back to this sweet life, visit her grandkids, be in his hometown. And I could see it working. I know you don't.
No,
like
I like, yeah,
And then it's an easy fit for
and
Pascal.
that is, I almost wish I could like take back that last thing that I said.
Well, you can because you're the editor.
I still can. Yeah. But I guess I would just say that like, I think that they'll be casual. Like, I don't think that anyone's moving anywhere. He might actually be down to move there. But so Mike was saying that,
there's nothing casual about Chock.
Well, yeah. So
to be clear.
Right. No, you're right. So do I want to go out on a limb? I don't know.
Well, what's going to stop you now?
Oh, well, because I don't want to totally blow my wad and everyone's like, she's never right about anything. So like, I have to like choose wisely to like keep people,
choose your wads.
She gets some stuff right.
Some of those conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Do you want to say this conspiracy theory against Chock?
No.
Will you tell me off air?
No. That was it. I was just like trying to say, like, do I want to stick with that? I don't think that they're together anymore.
No, absolutely not. If he is the one at the end, they're going to be together for, I think, at least a year. I'm not saying it's going to be riding off into the sunset, but I do think that there's no way he's letting Joanie go. He wants to be sipping a Chardonnay by a Wichita lake.
No, you know what? This is what I was going
to Joanie
say. Mike was like, because neither of us were big Chock fans. Like, it was just something about him. Mike was like we didn't know what he did for a job, and Mike was like, I feel
Insurance,
like he's like, well, so
right?
he's like, I feel like he's like a car salesman or a pastor, like someone who's like wheeling and dealing, like that kind of pastor, like a fucking no good one.
Raising a lot.
Yeah, getting
a lot of money that's buying him private planes.
Exactly.
In a house.
That's like the thing now. That's how
I did not take Chock for that guy.
No. Well, I took him for a salesman, but I didn't know what it was. And then I saw that he's an insurance salesman. And I know a bunch of those like from my hometown, and like they all get a billboard at some point. I see Chock and Joan having a billboard, like if this has been a great marketing for him. This has also probably been a very great marketing thing for Pascal. To get a color with Pascal now is going to be $2,800.
Can I just tell you that Pascal dyes his hair, but he just does like a rinse.
Yep.
And it looks so good.
So good.
I mean, chef's kiss perfection. Because normally some of that stuff bothers me on men.
No,
and whatever, just be like, well, women do it. Why can't? Yeah, well, we also bleed, and she's gonna cut this out, but it's fine. We also bleed monthly.
Well, like, why do you even have to say that though? Like, what does that have to do with hair?
Because we're allowed to do things that
I didn't want to cut you off, but
it's here.
But your Mugu Thai pies.
Then just answer me this before we wrap up. Who's the final two? Who's winning?
Guy and Chock is winning.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but I want it to be Pascal. And Chock,
we're doing wants.
I think Chock's gonna.
I want Pascal and Pascal. That's who I want. I want all these other guys to light themselves on fire. But I don't. But yeah. So prediction: Guy, Chock, want, desire, would love Pascal.
I just feel like she's got the heat with Pascal. He's got to make it to the final two.
I hope so. Again, as I've said a million times now, my conspiracies are only because I watch this show and I get bored a lot. And so I create these scenarios to like help me get through to
life.
Like just see like, but I will only be happy for Joan. I want none of these horrible things to happen. I want Jonathan to really like work at the soup kitchen and like be, giving away all of his money to, children with no teeth. Like that's what I want for it.
I love Jonathan.
I say these things because like, let's just see. It would be fun to be right, but I don't want anyone to be like hurt.
You conspiracy because you care.
Yeah.
And I go to the happily ever after because I care.
Yeah.
It's love. It's just in two different directions.
Yeah. I always hope that I'm wrong about all this stuff.
And I always hope that I'm right about it.
Yeah.
And that's where we meet in the middle.
I guess.
Something in the middle. What's that song? Like I want to meet you in the... It's like I don't know. It's one of these people. Haley Seinfeld.
Haley Seinfeld?
Why don't you meet me? Is Isn't that a singer?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Is that Haley Steinfeld?
Again, there's only one Seinfeld.
Okay, well. Cheers, queers. The end. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. It's coming.